Sometimes we find ourselves sitting quietly in the late afternoon of life, wondering if all the meaningful chapters have already been written. Maybe you've felt it, that quiet thought creeping in. Is it too late for me to begin again? The world often tells us that youth is when all the exciting things happen, the dreaming, the discovering, the growing. But what if that's only part of the story? What if the later chapters, the ones we're living now, hold a kind of beauty the younger years couldn't? A softer, deeper kind. You see, beginning again isn't about going back. It's about going forward, slowly, honestly, and with the wisdom only time can give. Maybe you've lost someone you love. Maybe your children are grown and far away. Maybe your days feel quieter than they used to. But deep in your heart, you can still feel it. The quiet stir of something more. A longing to do things differently, to try something new, or simply to feel alive again. This video is a gentle conversation about that longing. We'll talk about what it means to start over after 60, not with pressure, but with peace. You're not alone in this, and you're certainly not too late. So I invite you to stay with me for a while. Let's walk through this together, one tender step at a time. Because life after 60, it can still be beautiful. There's something important we don't hear often enough. You are allowed to begin again, no matter how many candles were on your last birthday cake. Many of us spent years, even decades, living for others. We raised families. We built careers. We did what was expected. We held everything together, often without thanks. And somewhere along the way, we may have tucked our own dreams into the back of a drawer. We told ourselves we'd come back to them someday. But the truth is, someday is now. Maybe your heart still quietly whispers to you in the stillness of the morning, remembering a hobby you loved, a place you once dreamed of visiting, or a part of yourself that felt alive and curious. That voice is not foolish. It's faithful. It's the part of you that never stopped believing in possibility. We often think starting again has to be something big, a new business, a cross-country move. But starting again can be gentle. It can be as simple as buying a sketchbook and letting your hand remember how to draw. It can be making a new friend, trying a new recipe, joining a small group, writing a letter, taking a daily walk and letting your thoughts breathe. These aren't small things, they are brave things. And they begin with one deep truth. You're not finished yet. You have wisdom now. You know what matters and what doesn't. You've lived enough to see that perfection isn't the goal, presence is. And that makes you beautifully equipped to start again, not in spite of your age, but because of it. You've earned this chance. You've earned the right to begin again in whatever way feels true to you. So let this be your reminder. Your life is still unfolding, and it's not too late to write a new chapter. There's a quiet sorrow that sometimes lingers in our hearts as we grow older, a gentle ache we don't often speak aloud. It's the feeling that too much time has passed, that the best chances are behind us, that the regrets we carry are too heavy to let go of. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, if only I had started earlier, if only I had been braver, if only I had chosen differently. These thoughts come from real places. They come from love, from longing, from years of trying your best even when things didn't turn out the way you hoped. But here's something tender to consider. Regret doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can be the doorway into something softer, something more truthful. Because regret, when met with grace, becomes wisdom. And wisdom is what helps us make new choices, better ones, truer ones, right here and now. You may not be able to go back and change the past, but you can meet it with compassion. You can thank it for what it taught you. You can forgive yourself for not knowing then what you know now. That kind of emotional shift, from self-blame to self-understanding, is where real healing begins. And from that place, you can move forward, gently, boldly, without needing to erase what came before, even if you felt stuck for a long time, even if you've settled into a life that feels quiet or empty. Change is still possible. Not overnight, not in giant leaps, but in slow, steady movements of the heart. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to reconnect with the truest parts of yourself, the parts that still hope, still care, still want to grow. You are not bound by the years behind you. You are still being shaped by the days ahead. One of the tender truths about growing older is that our bodies begin to speak to us in new ways. Maybe your joints are a little stiffer than they used to be. Maybe your energy doesn't last as long. Or perhaps you've faced bigger health challenges, the kind that change your daily life. And sometimes those changes make it feel like starting again isn't possible. You might think, I'm too tired, too limited, too alone. But I want to gently offer this. Your body may move more slowly now, but your spirit still knows how to begin. Taking care of yourself, even in small, simple ways, is a powerful form of starting over. A slow morning stretch, a warm cup of tea, a short walk with the sun on your face. These aren't just routines. They're reminders that your body is still a companion in your life, not a burden. And when it comes to relationships, the same is true. Maybe some people you loved are no longer here. Maybe others drifted away over the years. That can leave a quiet ache, a loneliness that's hard to put into words. But connection isn't just for the young. It's never too late to reach out. You can start again with a neighbor, a phone call to someone you haven't spoken to in a while, a local group that shares your interests, or simply striking up a gentle conversation at the grocery store or the park. You'd be surprised how many people are also longing for kindness, for someone to listen, to laugh, to remember with. Even one small effort, one honest connection, can breathe new warmth into your life. You don't need a crowd. Just one person who sees you can make all the difference. So let's not measure health or relationships by how they used to be. Let's look at what they can become, right here, right now, with care, patience, and love. This stage of life isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, with the energy and people you have today. There's something sacred about the quiet moments that come with age. When the world slows down just enough for us to hear our own hearts again. Not the noise of the past, not the fears of the future, just the gentle voice within that says, I'm still here. Many of us carry questions as we get older. Did I live the right way? Did I matter? Is there still something left for me to give? These are not small questions. They come from a soul that's been through much. Love and loss, joy and disappointment, triumphs and trials. But here's the beautiful truth. Your soul is not tired. It's wise. And in the later chapters of life, we often begin to understand that meaning doesn't come from success or speed. It comes from depth, from presence, from simply being who we are, right where we are. Whether you follow a faith or simply believe in something greater than yourself, this season can be a time of deep spiritual renewal, a time to return to your center, to listen, to forgive, to rest, to feel held by something bigger than your worries or your wounds. You might find comfort in prayer or in nature, in the pages of an old book, or the stillness of early morning light. You might sit by the window and watch the birds and feel a kind of peace you never noticed before. That is spiritual too. That is beginning again. You're not expected to have all the answers. None of us do. But you are allowed to ask the questions, with gentleness, with honesty, with hope. And perhaps the most loving question you can ask yourself today is this. What if the rest of my life is not about proving anything, but simply about being at peace with who I've become? You are already enough. You are already worthy of new beginnings, just as you are. So here we are, dear friend, at the quiet close of this conversation. If you've stayed with me this far, I hope something gentle has stirred in your heart. A softening, a remembering. Maybe even a little spark you thought had long gone out. You've lived so many chapters already, some full of love, some full of hardship, and many that no one else truly knows but you. And yet, here you are, breathing, wondering, still open to something new. That in itself is a kind of courage. Beginning again doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means honoring who you are now, with all the wrinkles, the wisdom, the weariness, and the wonder. It means trusting that life still holds beauty for you, not in spite of your age, but because of it. There is no expiration date on joy, on purpose, on love. These things don't belong only to the young, they belong to the willing. And if your heart is willing, that is more than enough. So take your time. There is no rush. Start with one small thing that brings you peace or makes you smile. Let that be your way back into yourself. And remember, you are not too old to begin again. In fact, you may be just wise enough now to begin in the most meaningful way of all. You are not alone on this journey. And the road ahead, however long or short, can still be full of light. Thank you for sharing this time with me. May the rest of your path be calm, clear, and beautifully your own.